Morning. Got a few people. I want to give everybody a chance to get in and have a seat. Welcome to the May Fireside Chat. It's hard to believe that we are at the end of May. Wow, spring is moving fast. We are entering a meaningful moment here in Seattle, and today is such a great representation of that. Summer in Seattle, there's nothing like it. It's a season of light, beauty, and connection. I was just marveling. I think it was Wednesday night. It was 9:20, and it was still light outside. And so, having those longer days, it means so much. We appreciate it so much. And this is not just any summer for us. It's the last summer for us before construction begins with our new West Tower. And my invitation to everyone is, let's live this summer in the moment. The coming years, they're going to bring visible change, noise, dust, disruption, but also growth, expansion, and opportunity. It's natural for us all to feel unsettled with, what is unknown. We're rooted in something strong, and that's our community. Horizon House, it's always been more than a place. It's a people-centered community. It's a calm community. It's a community of care and of resilience. And so it's in times like this, these times of change, it's easy to focus on what's next. But this summer, I want us to focus on what's now. We want to enjoy the simple things like the sunshine, the long evenings, the flowers, shared conversations, and laughter, which I love when I walk around Horizon House and hear laughter. Let's savor this summer together as residents, neighbors, friends, and companions on this journey. Yesterday, I had this, well, it was actually Wednesday, but the podcast was Wednesday, but I didn't hear it until Thursday. I had this great privilege of hearing this podcast of a friend and someone I consider a dream mate, someone that we talk about the beautiful world together and the world that we want to create. Her name is Yodit Mesfin Johnson, and she has a podcast called Centering Justice. And this week, it was just such a powerful message for me. She had this phenomenal panel, and they explored what it means to think about joy as a strategy and not an emotion. And, many of you who've read Audre Lorde, you're probably familiar with Audre Lorde thinking about joy as an act of resistance. And so a quote from Audre Lorde is, caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it's self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare. And so, it sounded, quite radical, but when you really think about joy as a strategy, it's care, it's presence, it's not a passive experience. In a world and in a time period for us that often demands, sacrifice and endurance, we can choose joy as a bold act of resistance through this process. And one of the things the podcast really explored, it talked a lot about, are you creating joy in your work, in your development, in the spaces that you're creating? And I started to think about the West Tower. I wanted to think, I wasn't here for the concept of it, but when I really started to think about it, it is joy all over that development. That project was created where joy was at the center. It was around protecting this culture, extending our mission to others, and fostering engagement. When you think about the design and all of that amenity and community space, joy was at the center of that creation. And that gave me a lot of calm and excitement to think about, this is really what we created. It's not a building. It wasn't just a building that we thought about, we just want to make more money. It was really about preserving what was important to Horizon House. And so as we prepare for this period of noise, dust, long-term change, just let us remember that finding joy is not frivolous, it's foundational. And this summer, I want you to sit in the sun with your friends, laugh over lunch, take time to notice what's blooming around Horizon House. These are not small things. They're defiant and beautiful reminders that we're intact, we're here, we're living, we're not just surviving, and we're choosing to thrive. Yeah, as this community, we are a community. We don't want to just spend our time in despair worried about what's next. Let's just honor our resilience by holding space for right now and this summer. And that summer, this summer where things are going to be, still relatively calm, we can have this collective resilience. So I just wanted to share that with you so we don't spend this summer worried and we spend some time in the moment. And that's off that I'm saying it for me as well. I want to make sure that we're spending this summer in the moment. I want to give you a little political update as well. As many of you know, I'm on the Leading Age National Board, and there was a lot that happened last week. And I just wanted to share those things that are most impactful to our sector, to aging services and Horizon House. And so I want to share a little bit about Leading Age's advocacy priorities, just so you understand, because you all through Horizon House, we're all members of Leading Age. So it's important for you to know kind of what they're advocating for and how you can get involved. And so they have some legislative priorities, and they're all critical for Leading Age members. Leading Age serves the wide spread of the entire sector. But, preserving and expand affordable housing for older adults, we know how important affordable housing is in Seattle, probably more so than other parts of the country, just given how expensive things are. They are working to establish clear and accessible legal pathways to citizenship. They're thinking about our workforce. They know that we need more people who can come into this country and work legally and then become citizens if they choose. Many of you might have known there was a nursing home staffing mandate, and while it looks like that is going away, they're still working through that, and they want to oppose the Medicaid funding cuts and restrictions on access to Medicaid. If you don't know, if you do not have money, assisted living is typically all private pay. If you don't have resources and you need care, your only option is a Medicaid funded bed in a nursing home. So it does matter. They want to make sure that we're protecting Medicare beneficiaries' choice between traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage, where there's a huge push. And we want people to have choice. That's important to Horizon House. They want to expand access and sustainability to home and community-based services like home care across all funding streams, whether it's through traditional insurance or Medicare. They want to make sure that it continues. They want to secure reforms to the hospice benefit. Hospice is covered now. We want to make sure that that stays a covered benefit. And then they want to make sure, what's important to us is that there is protection and availability of municipal bonds, which it does look like that is not going to be cut from it won't be a part of the pay for the 2026 budget. And then something that I'm just floored by, but Leading Age is working to make sure that nonprofit tax exempt status for organizations like ours are protected. That is a huge issue right now. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to read any of this budget, but a lot of it is challenging tax exempt status. So that is what Leading Age is working for and fighting. I just want to say these proposed cuts to Medicaid, it's over $8 billion. The threats to affordable housing, people are feeling it now. If you are an affordable housing provider, many have not had their budgets approved. They don't know, if they'll be able to meet their increased costs over the next year. Workforce shortages, we all are struggling and worried if there continues to be an aggressive, immigration and deportation work, that we won't have the workforce that we need. And, there's just lots of disruptions, even to things like the student loan program. And I think about that for all of us. I don't know how many of you have tried to get an appointment with a new doctor lately and how long it takes. We need more doctors, but the new student loan program that what they're trying to cut is like the grad plus loans. Cutting those things, it means that people don't have pathways to medical school. And so, these are things that we want to make sure that we are advocating for. This is not about politics. It's really about policy and people. And this budget, it is not, it's not okay. It's something that really is harmful. And it's harmful in two ways. It's harmful because the government has said, we don't want to do this work. But they're also making it difficult for nonprofit organizations who typically pick up during these time periods to do their work through a lack of grant funding, through the threat to their tax-exempt status. And so we all know that these problems won't go away. It matters to all of us, whether we're affordable housing or if we have a skilled nursing, it all does trickle down. We want Horizon House to be a part of this national conversation. Right now, what Leading Age is asking for all of us to do, the budget passed in Congress last Thursday morning. They worked all night to get this passed. It was a very slim margin. I think it was like a 1 vote. But now it's going on to the Senate. So, it's important to reach out to your senators and just talk about how this impacts you. How this impacts you. Talk to your family members who live in other states. We have to talk about what the impact of this will be. And so it's really the stories, we have to understand legislatures, these are not things that impact them on a daily basis. So they don't know. They have to hear about real people and how real people are being impacted. And so, we want to be a part of change and a part of the conversation. So I just wanted to share this national update with you. All right. We have a robust May agenda. And so Conti will come up next and introduce our staff, our new staff and milestones. Then we're going to have a wellness update from Andrew. Amanda's going to share some things and some survey results from resident experience. Then we're going to have our philanthropy update from Sue Jones and Jack Carr. Then Eli is going to do a update on projects West Tower as well as master planning. Then Jeff's going to give us an update on dining services. And then I'm going to have Don come up and talk about West Tower, and then I'll close us out with announcements and bright spots. So I'm going to turn it over to Conti.
Thank you, Erica. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to introduce new hires and talk about milestones from last month. As I start introducing new hires, I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any names. We have Kiesha Coleman and CZ Yabez joined us as a wait person and server. Rowell Bunger joined us as a cook. Antonio Rosas joined us as a garage attendant. Leol Asefa also joined us as a garage attendant. If you see these employees in the hallway, please greet them, please welcome them to our community. Next, I will be talking about some milestones. We have Anne Fabregas with 35 years of service as an elder care assistant. We have Tim Louis with 5 years of service as an environmental service tech. And Carlos Perez for 5 years of service as a garage attendant. Again, if you see these employees in the hallway, please congratulate them for their service at Horizon House. Up next is Andrew Hill for some wellness updates.
I'm not going to sing this time with the mic. If you were there on Friday, you know. Next time, Mark, next time. I'm sure, real quick, going back, Tim is probably the one that set up all of these chairs this morning. So, yes, if you see him, say a big thank you. Yes. Okay, before I tell you my updates, I'm going to tell you don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep, okay? Not the biggest updates, but very important. We're going to talk about safety. I like to go through safety of the gym and wellness center one time a year. Safety, very, very important, right, to keeping us healthy and the people that we live with healthy. I will start, though, with a couple maybe more fun things. A new class schedule did go out last week. You can find it down at the gym on the cork boards. There's a big class schedule there for you to view. There's also one just behind me in the mail room. We do have some paper copies. Trying to be more sustainable, we're trying to limit the amount of paper copies. So if you absolutely need one, you can come down and talk to any one of the 3 wellness specialists down there, and we will print one out for you. But again, we're trying not to print out a ton of paper, trying to be more sustainable. So if you can, with your smartphones that I know you all have, take pictures of the big class schedules. It can also be found on HH Connect. But again, I know that some people don't like to do it that way. So if you absolutely need one, come down and ask us. We'll print one out for you, okay? Then, I guess the biggest thing, the most fun announcement, is thanks through the Enrichment Grant Committee, so big hand to them real quick. We were able to secure an enrichment grant for a new piece of equipment. Now, maybe it doesn't look like the most fun or fancy equipment, but those of you that have been down in the pool have noticed that the pool and the storage equipment for the pool supplies is a little bit messy at times. Yes, this is going to help quite a bit with that. So just quickly running through it, this is made specifically to the equipment that we have. So our big hand buoys, the big hand weights, on those first middle 2 rows, there's actually little slots that they slide into perfectly so that we can stack them much neater than what we do now. Then there is a proper way for the pool noodles to actually be stored. They should be laid flat. That keeps the longevity of the pool noodles. So that's what that very bottom one is for. And then we have all those ankle weights and stuff that go in the pool. That's what you can hang over the top. So this is going to help again with the longevity of all of the equipment. It's going to make it look nicer in there, and it's going to help us be able to better manage all of the equipment. So it's all a great benefit to all of us. And it actually is due to arrive on Monday. It's going to take some time to put together, so give it a second, but it's supposed to come in on Monday. So that's exciting. Okay, do a big stretch. Maybe a yawn if you need to. Here comes the not so exciting stuff, but very important. So I'm going to do the 2 cardinal sins through this. First, there's a lot of words here. That's the first cardinal sin at presentations you're not supposed to do, have a bunch of words. But then I'm also going to just read straight off of it because it is important stuff. So for the gym, before you use any of the equipment, if it's been a while or if you're new, be sure to go through an orientation with the wellness staff. And that, even if you haven't been down to the gym for a while, maybe you don't know how to use a certain piece of equipment, there's always one of us down there Monday through Friday. Please come down and ask us. That's part of what we're there for, to make sure that you're using the equipment safely. As you can see, again, it's vital to help lowering the injury risk for you and maximizing your strength gains. In the treadmill, make sure you wear safety clips. Also on each treadmill, there's a little piece of paper that shows you how to properly use the treadmill, how to properly turn off the treadmill, even to a degree what shoes we should be wearing. Our servicers that come and service all of the equipment came down, this was last month, and in looking through the treadmill, they found a whole sole to a shoe. I'm not even joking, a whole sole to a shoe. So somebody's shoe, the bottom of it fell off, and obviously, so we want to make sure that we're wearing proper footwear, proper clothing, but also using the treadmill. I wish I was lying. Using proper treadmill mechanics. So some of the treadmills, each one is a little different. Some of them takes 2 presses to turn it off. Some of them only takes 1 presses. It's important to know that, again, for your safety, but also for whoever's coming to use it next in their safety. Again, so on all of the equipment, that's now including the weights, there are warning labels on how to properly use the machines. It's important that you read those, and again, if you're not sure of what they're saying, just come talk to one of us so that we can describe it to you and make sure that you're doing it properly. If you're starting to feel unwell during exercise, stop, right? And also something that comes up a lot is if you have a new change in your health, say you got a total knee done, some sort of accident, as you go through the process of healing, it's important to talk to your doctors and to us about being able to be cleared to go back to the gym, right? We don't want to go do something we're not supposed to be able to do yet and re-injure ourselves. So as you're coming back from an injury or an operation, make sure you're talking to us through it so that we know how to help you to your best ability. Then the next one is the pool pendants. This is more just a reminder that your pendants, any of the pendants that you use, cannot be submerged in water. They do not work submerged in water. Now, can they get a little wet? Yes. But if you're using it swimming in the pool and say something unfortunately happens, it will not work if it's submerged in water. So that's why we have around the pool, the 4 pillars around the pool, there is a hanging pendant to press if you need help, and there's also pull cords around the pool deck as well. Make sure, obviously, to use those as you need to, but again, those pendants will not work if it's submerged in water. Okay, then a couple just quick wellness updates. Be on the lookout for the Berg Balance and Fitness Assessments, probably early fall, late summer. Again, that's where we kind of test how you are doing physically, and then we can either prescribe to you a fitness routine to do on your own or even classes that you can go to that would help you specifically. We're slowly in the change of changing how we sign up for the pool. So remember, the pool right now, you come down to the wellness center, there's 3 papers for the whole week, you write your name down. Again, trying to be more sustainable, we're seeing at how we can change that. One of the ways that we're looking is, can we make that a digital sign up? Something maybe similar to Peel Tech, if you've used Peel Tech before. We're looking into it, but we'll make sure that no matter what, there's different options for different people. But again, we want to try to become more sustainable, so we're looking into making it digital. There is an acupuncture. I know everybody here loves the Chris's, right? Yes. So there's an acupuncture event. They've done it a couple times. Usually it's kind of in this corner section in the room where they come and do some free acupuncture for you if you've never done it, or even if you have. It's just a way for them to get their name out and for you guys to see what they do. So that event is July 3rd, the day before July 4th. There will be more information, of course, in the alert everywhere as we get closer to that date. Along with that, Donna, our aqua specialist, is going to be hosting an event here. She's going to be talking about the pool and how it can help specifically with balance, okay? And that's going to be June 13th at 10:30 a.m. And again, as we get closer to that date, all that is going to be out there. I again also wanted to give a quick shout out to Lori Bell, our new Healing Touch practitioner. Yes, she's here one Tuesday a month for right now as we get her really up and going. If you want to know more about her, you can come talk to me. If you want to sign up, because she still has some openings for her next time in, which is June 10th, you can talk with either me, Jess, or her, okay? That's all I have. Up next is Amanda.
Good morning. Have a few updates for resident experience and communications today. First, wanted to say thank you. We sent out a survey a few weeks ago, a resident service experience survey. It came through your email. We wanted to get an understanding of what on-site services you're using or who you're bringing in for services and support. We have a fairly decent pulse on the salon and who you're using here, but as far as like acupuncture goes and massage, they're their own business providers. So really kind of seeing who's using those services was important to us. It went out through a Horizon House email. We got about 150 responses, so I think that was pretty good. Just wanted to share that this is probably something you're going to see more from us. We'll always do kind of our end of the year resident satisfaction survey that kind of gives us a deeper understanding of how you're thinking and feeling. But these kind of pulse surveys are a nice way for us just to kind of have a touchstone on our offering, how you're feeling, things that we can do better. You'll probably see a lot just as we're going through some decommissioning and working through, West Tower expansion. So just wanted to say ahead of time, we're super grateful for any participation. It'll always go out through your Horizon House emails. If you ever have any questions, just call me. So what we were finding, so we kind of asked, which Horizon House provided services do you use? Hair salon, housekeeping, fitness being our big ones. No surprise there. Like I said, we had about 150 people respond to the survey. So seeing that, there was about 115 people of those using the salon was good to see. Also, then we talked about external providers that we contract with. So Peel Tech, so lots of people are taking advantage of those 15-minute appointments and also just, one-on-one appointments with Peel Tech. So that was great to see. Divya's services as a physical therapist. I know she stays pretty busy. Massage therapy there. And then one of the big things we saw was there's a handful of folks using external housekeepers, so not using the Horizon House. So we might want to understand that just a little bit more. But that was kind of interesting to see. But there was also some open-ended questions at the end, and what the big finding was is people didn't know that we offered all of these things. So, so I just wanted to showcase a little bit on HH Connect. So I know most everybody's using HH Connect, but if you go to the Wellbeing tab and there's this Indirect Health Services function, and there's this whole list, and this just kind of cuts off with my screen grab, but it tells you what all we've got. Jess is your great point person to make appointments, or even if you're like, do we do dental hygiene? Is that a thing? She can say, absolutely, let me schedule an appointment. So those services are on here, and with addition, like I said, we've got the healing touch person, and there's an esthetician through the salon. So there's lots of options. So just wanted to make sure everybody knew where to find those services. We also had some notation about transportation and people wanting grocery vans or transportation options. So I wanted to share. So right now we have, what is that? That's almost 10 grocery trips a week to PCC, QFC, Trader Joe's. This is on your K4 app. Jess also keeps a menu of the grocery schedule. So these are things that you can sign up for on your own, or you can go to the front desk and we can sign you up for grocery trips. So I wanted to make sure everybody knows this. This is in the Horizon House minivan, Caduce drives. But there's several trips offered a week. I also wanted to make sure everybody knew about ride share and taxi reimbursements. So this is a great privilege. So Yellow Cab, Uber, Lyft, that sort of thing. So anytime you're using a transportation service, Horizon House will reimburse you for $15 a leg. So if you're going, there and back, that's a $30 reimbursement. So with those, you just take a screen grab of your receipt, or you can take it to the front desk, and we'll reimburse you for that. Does everybody feel like they're familiar with that service? Yeah? Again, if you have questions, talk to Jess, front desk. We'll also do public transportation reimbursements. So if people are taking the bus or access vans, there's a seniors pass on Orca that's really affordable. So we'll reimburse you for your Orca Pass. And then there's also grocery delivery reimbursement. So for, usually like if you're using Instacart or Whole Foods, there's usually like a $10 service fee for reimbursement. We'll do that as well. Okay. Yeah. So just wanting to just make sure that everybody's aware of all the great benefits. Again, if you have questions, find me, find Jess, front desk. All right, so that's resident services. Communications. I wanted to talk a little about our upcoming West Tower expansion. So one of my big objectives this year is making sure the community's feeling like they're informed and up to date of all the things that'll be happening here in the next 5 years, right? So there's been a West Tower expansion committee, an offshoot of the resident council that we've been meeting with. And so I've met with them. We've kind of worked through what a communications plan is going to look like. So I wanted to kind of let you know how we're working through that. My first commitment is I'm going to try and stay in the loop as much as I can. There is a lot going on. Working very closely with Eli and Brian Holtz to really understand. They've been super gracious in setting up meetings with me and Anderson, Abbott, so that I can hear directly what the different things are that are happening, so that I can communicate appropriately to you as residents. We're going to have a dedicated HH Connect page. So when you go to the homepage of HH Connect, you'll see a little button that's kind of got this West Tower expansion logo on it. By clicking on that, you'll be able to get news and updates. You'll have calendar of events. When we start to have construction, you'll probably have a live stream of what's going on, but that's going to be your one-stop shop for all things that are happening. We're also looking at a speaker series, so every other month, having somebody come in and talk to you about what's happening with the construction. June, we've got tell me, Eli, because I always forget who it is.
So July.
Oh, July.
July will have a presentation on just the amenities on the B2 level. So that'll include activity rooms, the design.
Right.
Activity rooms and all of the, great input that we received from residents that help shape the design. Also on B2 level of the new West Tower will be Monday markets and also a garden lounge.
Right. But aren't we having like the seismatic construction talk?
Seismatic.
Did we do that already? Okay, so yes,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
July.
Seismic,
See, I'm
yeah.
already off.
Yeah,
All right.
the seismic.
But we'll have the calendar on there so you'll know what's happening. We're also probably starting this fall, late fall, doing a quarterly newsletter with just bigger, in-depth understanding of what's going on, who the contractors are, maybe some fun facts and features that are happening with the construction. And then, of course, ongoing communication. So there's always going to be emails. There's always going to be notifications in the alert. If something's urgent, we'll leave you a voicemail. So again, we're just really committed to making sure that you're feeling heard and understood, that we're communicating out to you, but also reminding you too that you can communicate out to us. We created this suggestions for success form almost a year ago. So again, HH Connect, helpful info and resources, suggestions for success. It's a form so you can let us know what you're thinking. If you have any ideas, if you have any concerns, if you have any questions, it's a nice way for us to capture information. It can be anonymous, or you can let us know what's going on so I can reach back out to you. It goes to me, and then I communicate out to the appropriate people. So that's what we got. All right, Sue and Jack.
Good morning. I'm Charlene Hutchinson. I work in the philanthropy department along with Ruth Ann Ford. I primarily work on the Partners in Caring annual campaign. Jack Carr is here today as one of the co-chairs. Sue Jones is also a co-chair. She is out enjoying her summer, a long weekend. So Jack has a lot of information to share with you. Now, I am going to become his assistant and advance the slides.
I'm not qualified for that technology. For those of you who saw me wearing a mask, my doctor reports I'm no longer a threat to humanity, at least medically. So, Sue is not here today, but if she were, she would enthusiastically announce that we have just received over $270,000, well on our way to a goal of $500,000. And we should remember that your gift to the endowment fund supports residence assistance programs, which guarantees our continued residence here, staff scholarships for the staff who so ably help us and are members of our community, and enrichment grants for all those scholarship or all those other projects that add or enhance our programs here. Remember that the calendar year runs for that the campaign runs for the calendar year, and that our goal is $500,000. And speaking of staff scholarships, we want you to save this date, Thursday, June 5th, 2 to 3 p.m., Anderson Hall. Staff scholarship celebrations there are open to all to attend, and we will be meeting the recent staff scholarship recipients and their families. So come and meet the families and congratulate them on their achievement. And while you have your calendar out, make sure you save this date for the ice cream social, Thursday, July 1st, 1:30 p.m. It's a favorite celebration, and it's open to all who attend, and it's a celebration of what we contribute to the community through the Partners in Caring. And if you come, you may enjoy it as much as Marianne Counts, who looks like she just got a second Super Sunday. So remember, gifts of any level are appreciated. We want to thank you, all of you who have contributed already. And if you haven't yet, remember you still got a year to do it, or part of a year. And if you haven't given, really consider contributing to the community. We all benefit, staff and residents alike. Thank you very much.
And now I invite Eli up to do his update.
Thanks, Charlene. Welcome. Happy Friday. All right. Let's talk construction disruption or campus improvements. That's the better way to describe it. Okay, so starting with the North Tower, for those who live in the North Tower, you'll realize that the majority of the floors have already been, the hallways, the elevator lobbies, have already been painted and new flooring, and before the end of the month, the rest of the floors will be complete. So what this project does is it gets rid of the awful delaminating, parts of the bench, and puts on new surfaces. That portion of the project, the upholstery portion at least, will occur a little bit later. We have just now finished the final selections of the upholstery, and that'll make everything look much nicer. Underway also is the second floor activity room and offices. This is where memory care used to be. It's phase 2 of the assisted living amenities project, where we refreshed the dining room servery, gave you a new living room on the second floor. Well, also on the second floor, just above this promenade, will be a new activity room for the assisted living residents. And in case you're wondering, well, what is that going on in the promenade? They're fortifying the structure so that we can provide a door opening and a window opening on the second floor that faces the hallway, and that'll be that activity room. Also, so these are some images of some construction that's going on. We have a little bit more to go, but we're still on track to finish before the end of the year. We're going to provide staff with a little training nook and also a better a break room. And there will also be, for the executive row portion, we're going to move, as you know, the first floor executive offices up to the second floor, and ensure that there's some waiting areas for residents who want to meet with staff in these spaces. And accounting department will be moved up there, and they'll be given more of an open office concept. And beyond that, there's also the dining room exit pathway project that will begin on June. It'll begin late June, early July, and we will need to move the accounting department and philanthropy out of there. The philanthropy department will be moved to where the occupational therapy is, next to the gym. And the accounting department will be moved up to apartment 17D. Sandy Shear specifically, who a lot of you see every month for accounts receivable, she'll be moved next to Amanda's office near the lobby. And Christy Seymour, she'll be moved to the sacristy here in the chapel. Yes. Yes. So be very zen and meditative, and when you go see her with your problems, with your financial woes. And then also, let's not forget about the comment box in concert with Amanda and all of her good communications. We really do want to create a channel for residents to, provide comments, ask questions. Obviously, you can remain anonymous, but if you want to, for instance, hear back, just be sure to put your name and we'll get back and we'll get back a hold of you. Another issue is that we didn't have time to put in a slide here, but we have selected an artist for integrated art with the New West Tower project. This is expected to be a real statement piece, fairly large, similar to the other pieces throughout our campus that we've had commissioned, but maybe even larger. It'll be located outside with the new project, and the artist who we selected, Haddad Drugan, they are using the communications department to send out a questionnaire, to send out a survey, just to learn more about the rest of everybody in the community. They've already been working a little bit with a art advisory group of a handful of residents. But they also want to put out a survey for the rest of the community to just ask, what is it about art that is important to you? What's your favorite art here existing on campus? And so with that idea, with those suggestions, with that feedback, it'll help inspire them to come up with an idea that hopefully it serves the entire community. So look out for that. And then also coming up, this is what Amanda explained earlier. In July, there will be a presentation on the resident amenity spaces. And this will include the new wood shop, the new sewing room. There'll be a ceramic studio and obviously an art studio. We'll also talk about the Monday market. So please put this in your calendar. And then, let's talk a little bit about First Hill Improvement Association, FIA. We don't have many upcoming events this month, except for today. Today at 5 to 7 p.m. at the Italian Family Pizza restaurant that's right on the corner of Madison and Boren, right? Yes. 5 to 7. I'm not sure. Sometimes they give us a discount, a community discount on these days. We call them First Hill Fridays. It's the last Friday of every month. So it'll always be on the same day as our Fireside Chat. That's how you can remember. And so anyways, we hope to see you there. You'll see other people in the other people from the neighborhood. But no other events. A recent past event that's maybe worth mentioning was at Town Hall. There was a neighborhood safety forum, and it was very interesting, talking about a upcoming proposal for a crisis center, where it would be located. And long story short, if you're interested in being more engaged with the neighborhood, you may want to consider joining the First Hill Improvement Association and get on the newsletter and attend some of these events. All right, next, Jeff Townley with Dining Services.
Thank you, Eli. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Real quick, wanted to share we had a couple nice events this month. Mother's Day, always a great event. You can see it was nice having Oliver back, put up a really beautiful display, take some pictures in front of and everything. Had a nice shrimp cocktail, and our new sous chef Ian there doing an omelet station. So it was a lot of fun. 150 meals served to residents and families, so it was a great day. And then just this last Monday, we kicked off barbecue season, had some nice weather, and had a really nice barbecue out on the terrace down on B1. About the same meals, had 145 meals served there. So a couple good events there. Upcoming events, we got Father's Day coming up in June 15th. So if anybody's interested in joining us for our brunch on that day, come see us up at the front desk. We do have some openings still for that. And we've been doing these pop-up events on Monday for lunch. We did a Thai curry bar a couple weeks ago, crepe bar, and then this Monday we're doing a pasta bar. So come check out and meet our new sous chef Ian as well and get some tasty pasta on Monday. With all that being said, I do have some bittersweet news to share. I know some of you probably already know this, but Chef Steve is going to be leaving us at the end of the month. As you all know, Chef's from Southern California, as well as his wife, and she's accepted a position down there with Morrison as well, but down in the Southern California area, right back to where they are close to their their family and friends and everything. So it's bittersweet that we'll be losing him, but I'm happy for him. He moved up here 6 years ago with not the intention of staying long. He was kind of sent up here to fill in as our executive chef for a little bit, and that turned into 6 years having him. So, he's here till June 27th. So, you have several weeks here to say goodbye and chat with him if you like. But, definitely if you see him, tell him how much we're going to miss him. And like I said, it's bittersweet. So I'm sad he's moving. He's been with me my whole time here, so he's kind of my partner in crime. And so we're sad to see him go, but happy for him as well. We have a new search on the way already, so we've got a couple interviews under our belt. So we're on our way finding that next executive chef, and we'll keep you updated on that along the way. So that's what I've got. And next up is Erica.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So we do have small group sessions coming up. As many of you know, we did have the small groups with the trustees, which was great, but we're following up with our small group sessions where we talk about operational issues or questions or suggestions. It's just an opportunity for us to hear from you, so we hope that you attend. We've got 3 different dates and 4 different times, so we hope that you'll be able to enjoy and join one of them. These are by RSVP. We like to keep them intentionally small, so if you're interested, please RSVP to Beth. And if you always have an opportunity to submit questions in advance. Oh, I'm so excited. Christy is not here. She probably at this time is hiking in Peru, but we still want to celebrate her in the moment. I don't want to wait till the end of next month because she is being honored as one of the CFOs of the year from the Puget Sound Business Journal. It's a huge honor. It is a huge honor to have a CEO who is, recognized, through all of, Puget Sound area. And it matters so much to us at this critical time because, again, there are people, the new prospective West Tower residents are asking, is Horizon House, is it sound? They read the horror stories in the news, but we are in good hands. We know we're in good hands, but it's nice that others have looked at her work and recognized all of the wonderful work that she has done for Horizon House. I was at Leading Age Oregon last week, and when people learned about our project, they said something like, "Oh my gosh, your balance sheet must be solid to do a project like that," and it is. And one of the main reasons is because of Christy, and she does her work with such compassion. So, please celebrate her when you see her. She is going to be celebrated at an event on June 26th at the Four Seasons Hotel, and we are so proud of her. Now on to some bright spots. Horizon House has been granting dollars to the community for long periods of time. And yet we were so quiet about it. We didn't really even share it beyond the committee. So many residents didn't know that we had selected organizations to grant dollars to. So this just gives you a little bit about the organizations that we supported. We had them come here. They got a chance to talk about what the work that they've done. We granted dollars to Gen Pride, to First Hill Improvement Association, to Freeway Park, and then I'm blanking now, another affordable housing organization. You will see it on the website, though. We do, Lehigh, thank you, Lehigh Affordable Housing. And they do such wonderful work with people who are unhoused. The one thing they talked about was that they have like a rest stop for people, many who are working, but a chance for people to refresh, take a shower, wash their clothes. It was such an honor to be able to award these organizations dollars. The Community Relations and Diversity Committee changed the way they did funding. We used to fund a lot of organizations with smaller grants, and the committee said we want to make a bigger impact. And so we are funding fewer organizations, but we're doing it with a lot more intention, and we're getting involved. And so these organizations, we've not only granted dollars to them, but we're volunteering with them. We're supporting them in other ways. And all of these organizations, they are mission adjacent to us. So we're starting to really do some streamlining and expand Horizon House's mission in a different way. All right, we had Retirement Communities Week. Wasn't it a blast? A hand, please. So handsome. So handsome. Let's give a hand to the employee recognition team who spends so much time planning and facilitating this phenomenal week. So let's give them a hand. I will tell you, there lots of places have really let these fun community events go by the wayside, but we know it's important. And I love that our Retirement Communities Week is both residents and staff members getting together, having fun. We do recognize we have a lot of new residents who don't really know about it. So next year we're going to do, a bit more orientation leading up to it so people can fully participate because they know what to expect. Just to show you a little bit about the bake sale. Oh my goodness, the baked goods. I was so impressed. Not only do we have talented team members, but they are skilled bakers. People, from scones to tarts to cookies. It was phenomenal. Lori, do you want to come, or Amanda, do you want to come share a little bit about this photo? Please, because this is so powerful.
So we all know Han in the salon. Can't hear you. Okay. So everybody familiar with Han in the salon? So Han is a devout Buddhist. She had put her name in, years ago to meet the Dalai Lama. And it's something that you just kind of are on this list. When you get your notification, you go. And so she, this spring, got her notification that she had the opportunity to meet the Dalai Lama, we were able to support her turning on a dime and taking off to go. And so, yeah, this was her lifelong dream to be with him and meet him. And so she had that opportunity to do so, which I don't know, just makes me feel like I'm just 1 degree away from greatness myself now. So, so yeah, I just wanted to share that she had that opportunity.
Thank you, Amanda. Han is such a wonderful member of our community. We wanted to make sure we shared that with you. All right, here are some assisted living bright spots. We had some wonderful singing. All right, so we also, oh my goodness, we had a wonderful celebration. Well, Ann Kelly had her whole big family here to celebrate her. I mean, and that is such an important part of Horizon House. People don't realize so much living happens here. So many family members spend time here. You know, they don't understand. People from the outside don't understand. Because you move to a community doesn't mean you don't see your family or anything stops. So I thought that we wanted to share that with you. We also have this picture of Lene, just, you know, she's backpacked all over national parks. We just want to share all these things that are happening in assisted living with the rest of the community. All right, before we get to question and answers, I have a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to bring Don up to talk a little bit about the West Tower. Want to remind everybody we have the Governance Forum on Monday, June 2nd at 7:30 in Anderson Hall. This is where you can come and learn about how Horizon House is run. I'm excited this year. We have some future West Tower residents who are interested. They want to learn how their new home operates. So please come. We'll have Bill Anderson and Ned. They'll come and they'll, you know, do their presentation that they do that's so well done. Even if you've seen it before, I think seeing it again is helpful because you always learn a little bit more. And if you're a new resident, it is really so important to learn about the intricate way in which Horizon House is run. I want to talk a little bit about and clarify. We are having a luncheon on June 17th, and this is it's to educate faith community leaders on Horizon House and senior living options. This is a part of our outreach and marketing effort, and we want to make sure that faith leaders, no matter what faith background they come from, that they have tools when they're meeting with their members to be able to share about if they're interested in retirement communities, and that they understand what Horizon House has to offer. You know, we understand that we are a very diverse community where there are people of all faiths, there are people of no faith, and that is not changing at all. But we just want to make sure that we are casting a wide net about who we are, you know, to a variety of people as a part of our marketing and outreach. All right, I am also want to announce that the Farmers Market will be back. It'll start back up on Friday, June 20th from 10 to 2 p.m. I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to those Rainier cherries showing back up. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to Don.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate this opportunity. Salespeople, we love to have claps. We need them as much as we can get. I hope many of you know who I am. I'm approaching my first year. I can't believe that next month's going to be 1 year anniversary. So I'm Don Warfield, the Director of Sales, and really, truly have the honor of representing everyone here in this crowd and telling your story, telling the lifestyle, the culture, what makes Horizon House successful for 64 years. And I always talk about where it all started with Myrtle Edwards. And her dream lives strong today in all of you, and it's going to live strong in the next 5 years and beyond. So we're planning for that, as Erica said. What makes us strong is our single site independence, and the new tower allows us to continue to do that into the next 10, 15, 20 years. So with that, I often get grabbed in the hallways. What's the number, Don? Where are we, Don? And as you know, there's a thermometer in the mailroom. My mailboxes, we want that temperature to go up. This is a good temperature. Today we're at 91. And if you give us about an hour, you might see 92 on there. So we do expect our 92nd. Anita's working on one as we speak. So we're really excited about that. We need to continue the momentum. We know how important it is to all of you, and we know how important it is to getting this project underway. So with that, I oftentimes get asked, what is coming up? What are you folks doing in marketing? We don't do this alone. I hope some of you will be available on June 11th, Wednesday, June 11th, when Love and Company will be here. They are our marketing partner, and they're going to do a brand expression presentation so you can better understand how we are marketing this incredible community today and tomorrow to really make a difference. And I believe, I don't have the time for that, but I want to say it's the morning, 10 a.m. And then what we're going to do on that same day, just so you know, on June 11th, we're inviting the 92 depositors, hopefully later today, to come in at 2 o'clock on that same day. And they're going to have an opportunity to hear from all the stakeholders involved in the West Tower development. It's going to be an update meeting where they can shoot questions to us, from board members to Erica to Methune. Eli probably just walked out the door. So we're really excited to have, although he's right there, be prepared because questions are coming your way. The 92 or almost 92 depositors we have, they are inquisitive. They want to know more and more about Horizon House. So this will be a great opportunity that they'll be able to hear from the finance team of Ziegler, Methune, and the rest. So that's going to happen on that same day, but 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then in the rest of June, what are we doing to continue to drive more and more prospects to us? On June 19th, Methune's going to partner with us. Methune, as I think all you know, is the architect, our great partner. They're going to join forces with our team here, and we're going to talk about the sustainability of this project and how important that is. And we believe there's a strong market out there. Folks are really interested in what that means to not only Horizon House Seattle, but our world in general. So that will be right here in Anderson Hall. We hope to have about 60 folks here. And then on June 26th, Thursday, we're going to take the show on the road. And we're going to go over to Trilogy. If any of you know where Trilogy is in Redmond, it's been there for 20 plus years, or maybe even longer than that. It's a 55 plus community. And that's a great market for us because we know folks like myself may say, but we're going to go to a 55 plus market and we own real estate, but it doesn't answer everything that we have here. So we find that to be a great market. And we're going to take that presentation over to Trilogy. We do have a current depositor that lives in Trilogy that's going to support us and host us on that. And someone in this room will probably be going with us to talk on behalf of Horizon House as well. Because I look through the room, I owe thanks to many of these faces I look at because you help us every single day. So I know I'm the last here on your Friday backs. The other question we often get is resident support. I can walk all over this community, and if I just stop any one of you, you folks want to help us, and we appreciate that. So we oftentimes talk about how can we get involved as a resident? What can we do to support? And there's nothing better, obviously, than getting your referrals, because your friends and your referrals, 9.9 times out of 10 really pays off. As a reminder, I don't have a slide for it, my apology. There's two simple ways to do it. Stop us or come see us and say, I have a referral to us. I know my friend Marcia's done that a few times. HH Connect, under the resource tab, there's a form right there. You can just go fill out that form, hit send, we get it, we'll follow up with a referral. So I also, again, want to thank all of you for engaging us. We will be meeting with folks and touring folks, and we walk right by the Fireside Lounge here. It's our goal always to stop and let residents engage you, or let potential residents engage you. We're trying that every single time, and sometimes we don't stop. It's not because we don't want to talk. It's because a lot of times we're reading the needs of the prospect and seeing where they are. But anytime we engage with you, with a potential resident, we are going to do it. Last but not least, we do have, and I'm going to make these available in the back of the room, for the June 19th event right here. We do have a flyer that Love and Company created. I'll leave some in the back room. I'll hand some out if you want to take a couple and share them with some friends as referrals. You can invite them to come. We'd appreciate it. The last thing I want to bring to your attention is that Love and Company has worked on a project of postcards. I'm sorry, they're small. I have 6 different postcards with different photos on them, with different saying. On the back is a simple spot where you can write a friend a little note. You can send it out. You can write it, bring it back to us. We'll pay the postage. We'll send it out for you. And there's simple things like, the one I really like is, here it is. Come meet our activity directors, all 400 of them. There's not a lot of room in the back to write anything because I think that says everything. And I'm just going to hit on that one because I know from my experience of working in this industry, in this market, in 3 other communities, there's not one like this that is resident focused, resident run in terms of the activities and committees, and that makes the difference. Quite frankly, people start, yes, please clap. That truly makes the difference. I am proud to say to people, we do not have a life enrichment director or activities director. We have over probably 400 of them, so thank you. And I would tell you that the folks that are coming, they want to get involved. And the last thing I'll say, I don't have anything here. I want to thank already some of the committees and some of the folks I see, like the art folks that invited us to the fiber art. We are going to start inviting some of our West Tower residents to come in and get to understand the value and the lifestyle of Horizon House and meet you. And we're going to do it smartly. They're going to be able to come in, maybe enjoy a meal and some of the other events that we have, the Monday Market, believe it or not, Wednesday Night Live, and some things like that. So we're really excited. And look for folks that are going to have a name tag, and it will be, I believe, it might be a different color, but it will say that they're a West Tower future resident. So with that, I went way beyond my time because that's what we do in sales. Thank you to all of you. Enjoy the weather. And come and, last thing I'll say, please come and see us. We're down on the B1 level. You guys all know where Brian Holtz lives, right? Right around the corner. Our sales door may be shut. Come in. Nate's there. Come see the board. The board's always updated, the board being reservation board. We'd love to have you stop by and see us. Thank you very much. I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. All right, we are over time, but I do want to offer up any questions that you might have, if you have any questions. All right, got one. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. During construction, will there be any apartments available for outside guests?
There will not be. No, there will not be. One of the things we are going to do is do our hardest work to negotiate with like the Sorrento and area hotels to get the best kind of guest rate that we can. So we'll do our due diligence on that, but we won't have any other space. All right, well, go forth and enjoy this beautiful sunshine and weekend. Thank you so much for attending.